Oh, welcome. We're live, everyone. It's 7 on a Saturday morning, April the 20th. And we had such fun this morning in the group. I changed the avatar of my person into a cow, and it was blinking, and the people were laughing and gunning. And I think we had about 15 ladies in the group this morning. We absolutely had a phenomenal meeting. Right in the beginning of the meeting, we introduced everybody, and when one lady introduced herself, she just burst out in tears, Tabitha, and that was a crazy experience from there on. Would you like to share what happened?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are having a phenomenal Saturday so far. Can't believe we so far into April already, Kenneth. It felt like we just started the year the other day. Yeah, this morning again, was just one of those sessions where you just realized what a blessing it is to have the community that we have and to be able to, I'm sure on a Saturday at 5 o'clock in the morning when you wake up to meet me, I'm sure you could be thinking if I could just leave 5 more minutes. But then when we have these meetings and we realize the impact of having these sessions and being able to have a platform where women can just sign in and be real and be raw, then you're like, okay, I'm waking up at 4 o'clock next Saturday because it's just so much worth in what we are doing. And this morning, such an incredible lady who we've been walking a journey with. And I think she's been battling with us for a while. Her husband's on your recovery program and he's moving forward. And, she said for so many years, this was her desire. I just wish this man would work on himself. Then he started working on himself. And then she's like, but now I'm left behind. I feel he's growing and I'm standing still. And this morning, it just came to light, that she was just feeling like, what, I don't know who I am. Like, I don't have an identity. So I don't know what makes me happy. And I'm expecting him to make me happy. I'm expecting him to spend more time with me. I thought when we dealt with this addiction, we would have more time, that he would, be more into me, that it will be more about me. And then, we just had a few incredible women just sharing how they had lost their identity through their husband's addiction and marriage, not even addiction, just being married, being so caught up into our kids and our families that we don't know who we are. And, we had some ladies share some crazy things that they have done to rediscover who they are. And I myself shared that in my 20s, after a long relationship and not knowing who I was, I took up violin lessons. To the violin teacher's dismay, obviously, because learning to play the violin in your 20s is definitely not recommended. But I pitched up every week and I squealed that violin and I drove her absolutely crazy because she was actually a prodigy violinist who played in the orchestra for South Africa. So you can just imagine God sent me there to challenge her patience to all degrees. But it was just an example. And then one of the other ladies were like, oh my word, I never played the violin, but I also bought one to rediscover myself. And that lady was just sharing after her divorce, that she also didn't know who she was. And we were just encouraging the ladies this morning that, you have to know who you are, that, you have to rediscover who you are. You cannot put that pressure on your husband to create your happiness. You cannot put that pressure on your husband to, define who you are, because God already created you with your own gifts and with your own talents. And it was just a reminder to me again today, being a mom, being a wife, having a career, that it's my responsibility to live intentionally. It's my responsibility to create my happiness. And it was just so funny at the end. Obviously, we were sharing some exciting news from the Grace Online team that we're going to be starting divorce care. And obviously, our heart is always to restore marriages and that marriages will end, in great places. But sometimes it's necessary to take that road. And furthermore, we'll be having divorce care for children, which is like, that just hits my heart because I love children. I have such a passion for children. And what you're doing as the leadership in Grace Online, Kenneth, and the heart that you have for people, and that you always just pushing yourself, going one step further. This morning, the ladies were so excited. So Kenneth didn't tell our viewers the whole reason why he decided to put the cow avatar on, because Kenneth doesn't like the attention put on him. Just by the way, if you want to know, Kenneth's weakness is he does not like attention put on him. He does not like to be praised or acknowledged. And yeah, I was basically giving him some credit there. Bev was giving him some credit, and he was going red. And then the next minute, you just see him disappear, and the cow avatar come up. But to his dismay, AI is so phenomenal that this little cow was still blushing and still blinking. So he was trying to hide away from the inevitable. So that's why Kenneth was a cow in our session today. But yeah, just to pull it back, guys, identity, defining who you are, so key, not just even in recovery, not just even, but in our day-to-day life, guys. Know that you are complete and everything else needs to complement you. It's not your partner's responsibility to create your happiness. It's not your partner's responsibility to carry, out the calling that God's placed on your life. So I think, Kenneth, you have been through this in your life before. You've had to redefine yourself. You've had to rediscover yourself. Maybe from your perspective, how did you do it? We encourage the ladies to create a list this morning of, I said 10, Bev's like, let's not be ambitious, let's go with 5. But yeah, we encourage the ladies to create a list of 5 things to rediscover themselves. And we're going to be sharing that in our Wow Share groups this week. And I'm excited to see the outcome of that. But yeah, how did you redefine yourself, Kenneth? I think that would be great for the listeners to hear because you've done this before.
Yeah, so basically, I think the first thing that I did after some devastation stuff hit me was I literally gave up on life, Tabitha. Like it was like the phoenix or the bird or the eagle or whatever falling down and plucking his own feathers out type of thing. Yes, it was a very painful period of life for me, but then I just felt like God has put his faith in me. That's a crazy statement. I believe in Jesus. I think Jesus is like he's number one in my life. But he died because he believed in me as well, and he's put his faith in me. And I just started to receive that faith and cast my vision onto a better future, a place where I want to be. And that allowed me to stand up and at least take one step at a time. I started focusing on living one day at a time on purpose and intentionally. I would connect with friends more. I would focus on certain types of eating plans, and I would make food for myself. Enjoyed making food at that specific time in my life. I started running, started doing exercise. I journaled. I connected with people. I just did everything I could to be alive and become a better version of myself. I'm not there yet. In fact, I think I'm far away from where I need to be and who it is that I want to be ultimately. But yeah, I'm still doing many of those things every single day. Every single day of the week, I meet with somebody to debrief and discuss stuff that I'm going through. So those are deep, meaningful relationships that I cannot live my life without. Bronwyn actually said this morning, she said, rediscovering my identity and worth outside of my marriage has been key to my growth, my personal growth and change. And I think that is what it all boils down to. I am worth more than this. God loves me also. I have value inside of myself, aside from my husband or my wife or the divorce or the death of my child. I am worth. I am valued. I am worthy. And then the big thing that came out this morning in the session for me, my big takeaway was we can exercise our worth. And that's not in an arrogant way. That is in relationship, connected with God. We can exercise our worth. And if I look back at all the things that I have done, um, the sports stuff, the friends, the believing in myself, allowing God into my heart, taking all that anger to Him. It was validating my worth. So today I know I'm a pretty good person. Like I love myself. I love being with myself. Because I've exercised my worth, like the scripture says, love God with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, all your being, and your neighbor. And people love to stop there, to put a full stop there, but then it says like yourself. And that is the
Yeah.
curveball. That is the thing that people don't teach. I think many spiritual institutions preach sacrifice and putting ourselves down and giving for someone else and putting yourself last on the list. I don't think that is what Jesus meant when he said, love your neighbor like yourself. And then he carried on with the story. The disciples came and they asked Jesus, but who's my neighbor? And then he tells a
Mm,
phenomenal story. And the purpose of that story is to uh, is to demonstrate love for self. So go read that story
mm,
again and figure out how
mm,
has love for self, love your neighbor like yourself. How's loving yourself been portrayed in that specific story? I do
mm,
believe that we are supposed to love ourselves, and I do believe that we are allowed to say that I'm a good person. I'm actually quite an awesome person. I like myself. I love who I am. I like who I am with people. I like the impact I'm making. I like myself, and I'm allowed to like and love myself actually. So, how does that
mm.
resonate with you, Tabitha? You've known me for 20 years. I mean, does it seem
No,
to?
spot on. No, well, I think you incredible. So I can list a list of things. How you're a phenomenal father, you're a phenomenal friend, your ministry, you are 100% committed to, you inspire many. So I can make a whole list, but yes, it definitely does resonate with me. I just want to encourage those people. Bev said something very significant this morning, Kenneth, that if you don't know what's good about yourself, think about compliments people have given you. So, if you're sitting
Mm,
there today and say, oh, I can't even write one thing on my list, somebody somewhere out there has complimented you. Maybe they said, "Wow, you a great painter, or you're great at your messages, or you write beautifully, or you have a beautiful smile." Somewhere in your life, someone has complimented you. Start at that point, And I want to
mm,
encourage people out there today. If you know people are battling, if you know someone in your life is battling, pop them a message this morning. Just say, I love this about you. I think you're a phenomenal friend. I think you're a phenomenal wife. I think you're a phenomenal father. I think you're a phenomenal granddad or grandmother. I want to encourage people out there to share and extend themselves this morning. If you're not in a great place, start with yourself. If you are in a great place, extend yourself to others this morning, like Kenneth said. If you're in a great place, you love who you are, you love what you stand for, then start loving your neighbor that way, And I think that is the hardest thing, Kenneth, is that we tend to love on other people, but we have self doubt and self
mm,
dislike, And the thing is, that's not what God intended, because you can only give from a full and overflowing cup. So my
mm,
encouragement this morning is make sure your cup is full and overflowing, so people get the best version of you, not because
mm,
they deserve it, but because you deserve to give from that place. So that's my challenge this morning. I love
mm.
this morning. And super excited about the things coming up. So watch the space, guys. If you need support, you're going through a divorce, you're possibly thinking of a divorce, the program is also there to enable to try and restore. So look on our Facebook page, look on Kenneth's Facebook page. We'll be making announcements soon. And I just hope you guys all have a phenomenal day.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. I've just discovered something new, Tabitha. Look at this.
What's that?
Isel Kirsten Gibson. It's also hard when you are now out of that relationship and you now not want your partner to make you happy. I now have to create my own happiness. I can put some comments on screen. This is awesome.
Oh,
And then
that's
Nicolette
phenomenal.
Knight has posted something as well. She said, that's true. Start with yourself, being a better version of yourself. And then there's one more comment here. Nicolette also said, you inspire many people. You use your own experiences in life to help others. So we can interact with the audience a little bit better,
Oh,
a
that's
little bit more
phenomenal.
going forward. So
Yeah, and
have a nice day,
Tuesday,
everyone.
Kenneth,
Yes, David.
just one last thing.
Yeah.
Tuesday, we will be having Maria joining us, who's a phenomenal lady in our Grace Online program. Phenomenal story. If you are free Tuesday, please join us after our session around 9:15. She's got lots to add, lots of value. Please join us on Tuesday if you have some time. That's going to be phenomenal.
Who will join us, Tabitha? Sorry, I missed that. Maria.
Maria's joining us.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Great stuff.
Okay,
Thanks.
love
Have a
you
nice
guys.
day. See you guys
Bye.
later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.